Hello, everyone, and welcome to our March market update. Nicole, thank you so much for joining me after our blizzard that we just had this weekend. We are both in different locations right now than what we're used to.
Agree. Yeah, I can't get out of mine at the
I,
moment.
I was snowed in at my boyfriend's house this weekend. I'm still here, so we're just making it work. We are going to make this work
That's right.
because that's what the blizzard's going to give us. So let's dive in, talk about some March headlines. I have a lot of buyers that are calling me actually kind of confused because there are a lot of different headlines coming out saying rates are rising, rates are dropping. Coming from the mortgage standpoint, like what are you seeing? Like, are you seeing a lot of buyers being confused right now?
I am because they'll come to me still. Like I just heard that the rates dropped,
Mhm.
and you're like, they didn't drop. I don't know what you're reading, and is it one day's event or is it one headline event? But certainly, what is undeniable is that the trend line is going up. And so what all we're hoping for is like that day, where we can catch our breath, get everybody locked in again, and then continue to go up. But I tell everybody, look, the best day to lock was 3 weeks ago. The second best day is today. Whatever day that is that you go under contract, that's the day you should probably lock because the general trend at this point going forward is going to be up.
Absolutely. And another frustrating thing my buyers are calling me with is this lack of inventory. I know I sound like a broken record and we can keep talking about it, but
Yeah.
such a staggering statistic that I just pulled this morning, just from RE Colorado. For anyone who's watching who doesn't know, that's our local MLS. So that's pulling in all the homes that are listed in the Denver metro area, from Aurora to Highlands Ranch to Parker to Arvada, Westminster, Broomfield. There are only 1,500 single family homes on the market as of this morning. I mean, that number just is so mind blowing because there are thousands of buyers out there looking for a single family home. So
Right.
it's crazy. So my plea today is, if you are a seller, if you're thinking about selling, give me a call. Let's talk about the market. I can pinpoint numbers directly to your zip code, to your neighborhood. I can pull comps for you so you can make the most educated decision when it comes to selling your home. Maybe you're getting older, maybe you want to move back in with your kids, maybe you want to go move to Arizona to retire. Anything, like, we can definitely make something work and you can cash out on that equity that's in your home. But it's not just inventory, right, Nicole, that's kind of driving this market?
It's not, and the happy place is closer to like 3,500. So the number that we've got right now is an extreme. And I know that everybody's talking about the fact that inventory is low, but it's not just the inventory. This was a long time building to this position, right? It didn't happen overnight and it didn't happen because of COVID. It was accelerated because of COVID, much like pouring gasoline on a fire, but it wasn't because of COVID. Because you have to think that the builders have been depressed in what they have been able to build, whether it was the contraction on lending opportunities, whether they didn't want to because there wasn't as much of a demand, or whether it was on a lack of supply or lumber, or all the other things. Now with lumber going up and steel going up and skilled labor going up, it's even harder for those builders to catch up, even at the point to which they want to. But we've been behind on new build production for years, a decade, in fact, since the last bubble. So the new builds weren't producing the inventory that we needed. We've got the first time home buyers. We've got this swell of demographics that I know we've talked about before that are coming in, that are scooping up anything that we can put on the market as fast as they can, and they don't have anything to sell. So unlike those sellers that you're pleading to say, look, there's an opportunity here, those guys don't have anything to trade in. They're not adding to the inventory, they're only taking it away. And our market for the next 10 years will be about a third of those guys. So if you're not building to the level to which you need, and you've got a third of your market coming in with nothing to sell, it's definitely going to continue to add a strain. So what we're really seeing too, though, is we broke records. We actually had the highest number of sales, existing home sales, in 2020. Our February number was over last year's February number for existing home sales. So even though our numbers today are extremely low, it's not because we don't have the homes to sell. They're coming out, but they're selling quick. So they're not listed as active inventory for more than 48 hours, 24 hours. It's
Yeah,
mind blowing.
mind
It's a
blowing with
days on
multiple.
market issue.
Yes, with multiple offers on those homes. And to that spectrum, you were talking about a third of the, the home buyers out there are those first time home buyers that are stopping renting because of these historically low interest rates that are getting into the market, buying their property. But on the other end of that spectrum, we can talk about baby boomers too. And because of the pandemic, a lot of baby boomers don't have the opportunity to maybe get to that retirement home or move in with some other family members at this time for fear of the pandemic. Thankfully, there's a vaccine getting out there now, so a lot of people are getting vaccinated, but that definitely is part of the other spectrum, right?
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. In fact, the CDC came out last week, the beginning of the week, saying that they were approving the fact that the elderly could go travel again, could go visit family once they got vaccinated, right? And we'd heard Biden say that by May 1st, everybody will have access to the vaccine. By July 1st, everybody will hopefully be at barbecues and 4th of July celebrations. But last week, Monday, was the record breaking cruise line sales,
Oh my God.
right? Which totally makes sense, which I think is hilarious. People are anxious, so anxious to go back to whatever normal looks like for them. And for some of them, it means finally being able to move, or maybe letting somebody come walk through their house and list it again. Or, we do typically see a spring inventory. I don't want to say surge. It seems like an extreme word in the
Right.
case that we're in right now, but it absolutely increased inventory. We can only hope that that's the case to scoop up some of this. And of course, interest rates are going up, as we mentioned, so that will start to temper some of this extreme buyer demand that we've been seeing. Maybe the erroneous buyer demand, the ones where they were like, well, I could afford that home now. Maybe I'm in a $700,000 home and I want $1 million home, and I hadn't really wanted to do it, but now I feel like I can even better and easier because the interest rates are so low. But now the interest rates are coming up, and maybe I'm not feeling that urgency to move. Some of that will get muted.
Absolutely. And maybe some of these baby boomers after this weekend's blizzard might consider moving to the Arizonas and the Floridas and the
Right.
Californias
Right.
so they don't have to shovel any more snow. So
Right.
hopefully that will help inventory once obviously the vaccine's fully in place for everyone. And then obviously maybe this summer some of the inventory can go up a little bit more. Um, with people probably moving out of state to find some cheaper housing in other states. So definitely I am looking forward to a life getting back to somewhat normal. Cruises are definitely at the top of my list. I can't wait to get back on a cruise ship. It has been too long. What is a trip that you're looking forward to taking?
Oh my gosh. We took this could be a really long story, but I'll make it really short. We took each one of our kids when they graduated high school to Europe. My daughter and I went to Italy, and my husband and both of my boys went to Ireland. And so we told the kids that when they graduated college that they could choose another, this time domestic place to go. And my eldest graduated last May from nursing school, and he chose Alaska.
Oh, wow.
And we didn't get to go because of COVID. So that's the next trip on the books.
I'm sure that's at the top of the list for you and your family. Well, Nicole,
Yes.
thank you so much for joining me again. It's always lovely talking with you and catching up with you and all of this crazy market knowledge that we both have. So if anyone has any questions, needs any information about your mortgage needs, I will have Nicole's information below. Her team is fantastic. And if you have any questions about your home, real estate needs, the market, I will have my information below as well. Nicole, I'll see you next month.
Oh, Mary Beth, always a pleasure. Bye bye.
Bye.